Hello everyone and welcome to the To Explore Wellness channel. I'm Amy and in this video, I'm going to show you 3 super simple lunch or dinner recipes that are high in protein, healthy, and take right around 10 minutes. These are some of the meals that I've made in order to help lose and maintain a 40-pound weight loss because they're nourishing, high in protein, and high in volume. These recipes are all veggie heavy and protein forward, and I'm super excited to share these recipes with you so they can help you with your own health and fitness goals as well. We're gonna be making smoked salmon cucumber boats, a chicken curry salad, and a tuna bell pepper sandwich. And these are all absolutely delicious. So let's go ahead and get started. First, recipe ingredients. And you can actually just make this with 3 ingredients, but of course, it's great to have some variety, add a little bit of flair. So, of course, we're gonna need a cucumber for our cucumber boat. Then the filling is going to be either a cream cheese, this is a light reduced fat cream cheese, or alternatively, if you're dairy-free or just prefer avocado, you can use an avocado. You could also use like one of those sliced cheese wedges, that works great as well. And then, of course, we're gonna need our salmon. We are going to use the whole package per serving so that we can get close to 30 grams of protein for this. Some extra flair and pizzazz. We are going to add, or I'm going to add for this version, some dill. I have some spicy everything but the bagel seasoning. You can use regular, you can omit it, whatever you want. And then some microgreens for some added nutritional benefits. So let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna give this a quick peel and then we're gonna scoop out his guts. And I'm not gonna peel the whole thing, I'm just gonna peel off a few layers. This outer bit can be a little bit waxy, so we're just gonna get a bunch of it off. And it also makes it look pretty. Okay, and then we're just gonna cut it in half. And with a small spoon, we can just scoop out the insides. Easiest to kind of run along the edge and then kind of go down the middle. And that looks perfect. And you can either eat the guts or put it in a smoothie or whatever you want to do with it. Next step is going to be filling up our cucumber boats with either your avocado or your cheese. So I highly recommend for this step to use some type of measuring utensil, such as a scale or a measuring spoon, because it's pretty easy to overfill these and then eating more calories than you had expected. Each tablespoon of this lower fat cream cheese is going to be around 35 calories. I'm gonna do maybe 3 tablespoons across these so that we can keep this recipe around 370 calories and roughly 30 grams of protein. So these aren't exactly the absolute easiest things to fill because they're a little wet, but you can still do a pretty good job of getting it evenly. And honestly, I like when there's a little bit of unevenness in recipes like this, especially if you are trying to watch your calories. You do want to be aware of how much you are putting in. And now this is about 3 tablespoons of light cream cheese. So 1.5 ounces of cream cheese. And of course, next is going to be putting our salmon. So we can just kind of lay it across our cucumber boats. And like I said, I would opt for the whole pack so that we can get our protein in. Salmon is a great source of omega-3 fatty acids, as well as a variety of vitamins. It's super nutritious and high in protein. And now once we have our main parts of our little salmon boats prepared, then the fun part starts where you can kind of customize it a little bit more. As I mentioned, I'm going to add dill, spicy everything but the bagel seasoning, and some microgreens. I feel like there's such a strategic way to topping these so that everything stays on. So I am starting with the spices, then I'm gonna do the dill and then the microgreens. Some other ingredients that would work really well with this is maybe like a sriracha if you like things really spicy. You could also do like a cilantro instead of dill. You could do some kind of like miso soy sauce. There's so many different ways that you could, customize these and make them more your own and more your taste. And I've got these plated, and we're just gonna finish it off with some microgreens. And we're all done. And can we just take a moment for how beautiful this looks? So you have a nourishing lunch, and that literally takes like 5 minutes to make. It's super easy, super nutritious, and high in protein. So let's make our second one. Our second recipe is going to be a chicken curry salad. I eat chicken salads all the time for lunch. They're so easy to prep ahead of time. They're high in protein, low in calories, and you can definitely play around with the ingredients. This one's one of my favorites. I love the addition of the raisins to add some sweetness to it. And we're also gonna add a few elements for some other flavor options as well as texture options. For one serving, you are going to need about 3 ounces of shredded chicken. You can also use canned chicken. I use that all the time as well. And this is about 3/4 of a cup roughly, about 2 tablespoons of Greek yogurt, about 1/4 cup of chickpeas. We're gonna use about 2 tablespoons of raisins. You can totally do that to taste. I like to add some onion for crunch and flavor, and of course some curry. Salt and pepper also as well, of course. Some optional add-ons that I like to add. I love adding some celery, again, for some added crunch, texture, and volume to it. Also really great, turmeric is super nutritious and healthy for you. It helps with inflammation and all that. So I love adding some turmeric and some additional flavor and crunch. Some slivered almonds go really well with this too. With just these ingredients, it also brings this to about 35 grams of protein. The chickpeas add some great fiber. So let's go ahead and make this. All right, so we're just gonna chop a little bit of onion. I would say about a tablespoon or so per serving would be excellent. Actually, probably too much. We are going to finely dice. That looks like about the right amount, but again, to taste, to your liking, of course. About 1/4 cup chickpeas, and we're just gonna lightly mash them a bit just to break them down and have them well integrated in the rest of the salad. Our onion, about 2 tablespoons of raisins, 2 tablespoons of Greek yogurt, our shredded chicken. This is a chicken breast. You can also use rotisserie, you can use canned, about 1/2 teaspoon of curry. I'm also gonna add in some turmeric, and of course our salt and pepper. And I'm also gonna add in about 1 tablespoon of slivered almonds. And we can give this a good mix. You can also add in a bit of mayo or more Greek yogurt to get it a more creamy consistency. And this looks absolutely delicious. Now that our chicken salad is ready, we're going to turn this into a more balanced meal. I've actually partnered with Nourish for this video because I recently saw one of their dietitians. I've been feeling fatigued despite getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep, eating what I think is a balanced diet, and being healthy and active overall. But after discussing with my registered dietitian, I realized that I could probably stand to implement some more carbs into my diet. So that's why I'm definitely gonna be choosing to add some bread to this recipe to get some extra carbohydrates in. And as I was speaking to my dietitian more about the fatigue I was feeling, we thought that it would be a really good idea for me to get my hormones tested, because some of the concerns were my iron levels as well as my potential for hypothyroidism, because it does run in my family. So I'm going to be ordering my hormone lab test through the app so that I can determine why I'm actually feeling fatigued, to see if it's an underlying issue that I don't really have awareness about. And one of the things I love about Nourish is you can actually schedule with them for $0 out of pocket because it's covered by most insurances. While I saw a dietitian for a specific health issue, there are so many different specializations that you can see a dietitian for. A lot of them specialize in healthy aging, sports nutrition. You can find someone who's very much science-backed or who works with people who want to better their relationship with food. They can assist you with how to better understand your body and what ways to support it. There's truly so many benefits for working with a registered dietitian through Nourish. It's convenient because they can schedule Zoom calls with you, so you don't even have to leave your house. If you're looking to better your health in some way, I highly recommend checking out Nourish and scheduling your no-risk consultation, because it can only be beneficial to you like it so far has been to me. So with that being said, let's get our little lunch assembled here. I'm gonna do a fun little mix. I am gonna do 1 piece of bread, and then I'm gonna fill the rest in some celery boats. I think that's a really nice way to get the veggies and some extra carbohydrates in. This bread I love. It's gonna give me another 3 grams of fiber and about 14 carbs. So we're making this a really nice balanced lunch. And wish me luck getting it inside of these. I think I'm also gonna need a second stock as well because there's a lot of chicken salad left. All right, so I'm gonna try and carefully stuff these little celery boats with this. And I love celery. It adds a nice crunch. It adds lots of volume. Super good for you. And instead of chopping it up in the salad, you know, this is a perfect way to incorporate it. Also, when you were a kid, did you ever have ants on a log? Kind of reminds me of ants on a log because of little raisins. I was recently craving it out of nowhere. I don't know why, but anyway, it's a super yummy snack. And just cause, I'm gonna sprinkle some carrots on top for some color and nutrients. Perfect lunch. Would you look at how big this serving ended up being? This is a lot of food, and I could probably stand to do like 1 more celery boat, or maybe like just use it to dip with some crackers or something, but like this is so much food. What a delicious balanced meal. Now it's time for our 3rd recipe. So I'm gonna put this away and grab the ingredients. So the star of our last recipe is going to be tuna. Though you could totally swap it out for chicken as well. It would be delicious either way. So we are going to use some tuna. Oh, I forgot. We're gonna use some Greek yogurt for some extra protein, some avocado. So whenever I make a tuna or a chicken salad, well, not all the time, but instead of mayo, you can actually mash an avocado for that creaminess. We're gonna add some lemon, some garlic, and then we're gonna, for crunch and flavor, do our celery and onion. It's gonna be a pretty basic tuna salad, except today we're gonna eat it inside of a bell pepper. I love making bell pepper sandwiches because it adds that nice volume, flavor, and crunch to it. Let's go ahead and put all of this together. This avocado is actually a freezer avocado. It's been in my freezer for quite a while, and I just ran it under some warm water to defrost. So moment of truth, everyone. I saw this hack and I'm like, I have to try it. So let's see if it works as well as people says it works. Get it? I got it. Honestly, what's oozing out of it looks really, really fresh and good. Not bad. Let's see. I'm gonna just chop some off. Wow. Look at how perfect that is. Ah, that's wild. It does need to thaw a little bit more, but I'm gonna run it under some warm water while we're getting the rest of these ingredients ready. But anyway, we're just mashing it up anyway. Cool. I have some of these onion pieces left over from the prior recipe, but we're just gonna dice these up finely. This would also work really well with green onion if you have it, red onion, shallots, whatever kind of onion you prefer. And again, about 1 to 2 tablespoons, just depending on your taste and how much onion you want. I like to dice my celery super small, so I'm gonna divide this in half. And we're just gonna finely dice 1 stalk. All right, so about 1/4 of an avocado, and this provides us some great healthy fats and some fiber. And we're gonna mash this up so it's nice and creamy. I actually think I have to microwave it. Of course, we're gonna need our can of tuna, and I always opt for tuna in water, and about 2 tablespoons or so of Greek yogurt, and of course some lemon juice. I'm going good with the lemon juice. Brings out the brightness, you know? All right, and our diced onion, and our diced celery, some garlic powder, and of course we need our salt and pepper, and of course give a good mix. Perfect. I've also made an avocado tuna salad with like some soy sauce. Would be good, like instead of the lemon, would be absolutely delicious with even some everything but the bagel seasoning. Again, there's a lot of different ways that you can adjust this recipe to make it meet your tastes. We're gonna make this one inside of a bell pepper, so we can just chop it in half, and then we're gonna remove the guts. only thing left to do is put it inside. And I like to serve this usually with like maybe a side of whole grain crackers, again, for some more healthy carbohydrates. And depending on which ones you're using, they also have fiber. One bell pepper will also have 2 grams of fiber. So you have a nice nourishing meal that can help support both your weight loss goals and your overall health. Protein goals, these are all very high in protein. Super nutritious. So we've got these nice and stuffed. We want to make sure to use all of this so that we can hit our protein goals. We've also got that healthy fat coming in from the avocado. You can top these with some hemp seeds or even like pepitas or something for some extra healthy fats and nutrients. And there's a lot of different routes that you can take to make these fit your needs and tastes. Okay, these look good. Yum, nice and stuffed. And you can definitely top it with some lettuce. I'm gonna add some extra microgreens to the top. Yeah, there we go. It's probably better to eat this one open-faced, though, you know, feel free to do you. And here we have our 3 delicious, quick, and easy lunches. And one of the great things about these is that you can absolutely mix and match. You can do the salmon and cream cheese inside a bell pepper or on some toast, or you can do your chicken salad inside of a bell pepper. You can mix and match and use different types of vessels for these. You can add in crackers, you can add in whole wheat pitas, bread. The options are completely limitless. So I really hope you enjoyed making these recipes. Let me know which one you try, which ones are your favorite, and what you're having for lunch. These are great options if you've got protein goals, if you're trying to lose weight, or just eat healthier overall. So if you haven't already, please make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any more healthy, high protein, and delicious recipes. Thanks again, and see you all next time.